This is the Entertainment Roundup for February 9th, 2013. I'm J77, and let's get started. I got four stories to talk about. Might as well talk about Toni Braxton. Yes, it's been a while since I heard her in the news, and she made a couple announcements that got me raising eyebrows. In the front page, courtesy by the Huffington Post, Toni Braxton says that she's retiring from music but wants to play a lesbian on the big screen. It is something that really caught my attention, and not in a bad way. I say that because she has been a very strong voice for gay rights in this country. She even said that a couple of producers and directors who helped her in her music career was also gay, and they are best friends. And basically now she has announced plans to retire, but wants to continue doing stuff in other means. So I'm gonna read the whole article, what it says here, and then I'll let you guys comment on this. But it's definitely something very interesting that that caught my attention. It says here, singer-songwriter, reality star, and actress Toni Braxton may have announced plans to retire from music, but the Grammy-winning still has a few tricks up her sleeves. The mother of two told the Gringo entertainment editor Chris Witherspoon that she doesn't want to record any more albums, but hopes to focus on acting instead. For what I do, I have to love it. I feel that entertainment, the excitement, I have to feel the excitement, and it's gone. Braxton shares. I'm just not going to do any more albums anymore. Maybe touring occasionally here and there, because I love performing, but not as much as I did in the past. But no new projects. It says right there. On February 9th, the star of the reality show Braxton's Family Values will be seen on Lifetime. Twists of Faith, made for TV, will be seen in Lifetime's Twist of Faith, a made-for-TV movie focusing on a single mother who is the lead singer of a gospel chorus and falls in love with a Jewish man. The I Heart You singer, I think that's what it is. I Heart Your singer who will be seen alongside LL Cool J, Jada Pinkett Smith, and on Vicker Fox. In 2002, Kingdom Come says she wants to expand her priorities even further by tackling a lesbian role in the silver screen. I would like to play a lesbian, she revealed. I don't know why, and I do a whole makeout scene and a whole thing, just something completely different than people would expect from me. Not a lipstick lesbian either. In the other Braxton news, the pop diva was in attendance of the 2013 Red Dress Fashion Show to raise awareness about heart disease in African American communities. On February 6th, Braxton, who is diagnosed with heart disease after the birth of her second son, has also long been a vocal advocate for lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. The LGBT community. I love my boys because my boys helped me be a better girl, she told Pride Source in 2010. By choreographer and video director are gay, and they have been my best friends since I started the industry. The 8-time Grammy winner said she first became aware of her LGBT following after her hit single "You Break My Heart" was released. And I'll leave the link below. You guys can read it yourself, give your own comments on it. But my personal feelings is that what can I say except that she is stepping away from the singing business. I'm kind of sad that she is. She's actually very, very good. She deserves all the kudos, but I also respect the fact that if she doesn't have the love for it, and she doesn't feel up to make any more music, then best to quit while you're still on top. That doesn't mean to say that she may not come back if she found that that knack, that thrill that she once had when she first started. But for the time being, I have no arguments. She doesn't feel it anymore. She wants to do something else. Who am I to say no? As for the lesbian scene, This is also very weird because the simple fact is I don't know if she has the she's doing it for the right intentions. Um, on the one hand, she could be trying to wear awareness that lesbians and gays are human too, which I think a lot of people should be aware of. They're human beings. They bleed, they cry, they have feelings like everybody else. But on the other hand, I'm kind of wondering if she is doing it for the right reasons. I don't know if she's actually doing it for the right reasons as it's reported here. I didn't get the feeling that she's doing this just to aware awareness. I don't know. I don't really got that feeling. I may be wrong. I may be reading too much into it, but it does sound like there's a bit of confusion in our own part of why she's doing this. Look, there are tons of actresses that are straight have done performances of lesbians. Even actors who are well-known actors. The guy who used to play Peter Parker's boss, he was in Oz, and his character was pretty much out there. Same thing with one of the actors from Law and Order. So it doesn't shock me that this is something that she has in mind doing. But the way she's announcing it, I'm kind of wondering if she's doing it for all the right reason. If she is, and she's not, she's comfortable with it, fine. But I just hope that she doesn't have to that she's forcing herself to do it just to wear awareness. I'm pretty sure that the people who are supporting you and you're supporting them will be happy of them just you speaking out. And that's pretty much all they pretty much ask for you to do. But in any case, if she's comfortable, fine. I'm have no problem with it. By all means. But again, I'm kind of sad that she's leaving the music business. Again, I'll leave it to you guys to comment on. And with that, I'm moving on. So from one music business to another one, Willow Smith. For those of you guys don't know, Willow Smith, about a year ago, well, actually a year and a half, Will Smith's daughter was attached to the Annie remake. This film had a lot of star power behind it. Jay-Z, of course, being one of them, being that he made The Hard Knock Life. And it was supposed to be Will Smith big break movie, as you want, as many people will say. Even though she has been in other feature films, she hasn't been in a film where she's the main role. Apparently, that's not to be. She is no longer attached to this film, and the reasoning behind it is actually pretty interesting, because you won't expect this from a child to say this, especially towards her father, which a lot of people, and I can understand why, because it does feel like he's doing this a lot, is pretty much putting his kids out there in the big screen, and a lot of people are not very happy about it. They're not very happy that Will Smith is pretty much forcing his kids to be in movies. Now, in terms of his son, don't have too much of a problem with it. I'm not following his movies as probably other people have. I didn't care for The Day the Earth Stood Still. I thought he was fine in The Pursuit of Happiness, probably Will Smith's best work. Karate Kid, he wasn't terrible. He wasn't great, but he wasn't terrible. But it seems like Will Smith, is really pushing his kids on the big screen a lot more than what I think he should. And if the kids want to do it and this is what their dream is, fine. But by forcing them, I think that's a bad move. For the simple fact is, you get the feeling that he's living his dream for his children, and every time when a parent lives their dream for their own children, for their children's eyes, it doesn't always pan out as good. So when I heard this report, I was kind of surprised she said this to her father, but also I'm kind of glad that she did, because it shows that she's not really in tune of viewing movies as one may think, especially when she's realizing just how much hard work the music business and Hollywood in general is. So this is what it says here. When Will Smith had an ambition to remake Andy, was first announced in January of 2011, a long time. Smith's daughter Willow was attached to the play, to the title Little Orphan. Cut to January of 2013, and Willow is off the project, which recently hired an Easy A director, Will Gluck, to guide the production to the big screen. Smith is producing Annie, though his Overbook Entertainment single. When Clark's involvement was announced last month, Deadline.com note that Annie will go ahead without Willow in the lead role because the actress and singer is now 12. Was too old for the star. Now I'm gonna stop right there. I'm not buying they can't make her fit with the time. Mind you that in the 90s they actually gave Annie a relook. She was no longer that little orphan Annie that we have grown to love. She was more of a teenager. She was like 13, 14 years old, and the series went on like that, pretty much keeping it on with times. She wasn't wearing that red dress that people have gone to know. She still had a crazy hair and a mop and a blank, expressionless eyes, but she was more up to date, facing villains, facing perils in pretty much our time, and not the time back in the 1950s. So they can implement Willow, into that role. So I'm not saying why the age is a problem, especially when it's been proven that you can update Annie and still keep up with what made Annie famous in the first place. But that's what they said, that the star was too old to star. Unbeknownst to the trade, however, that there was another reason. This is where I actually think this is the real reason than the fact that she's just too old. Speaking at Temple University of Philadelphia this week, Smith revealed that his daughter asked out of the film herself. Willow was supposed to be doing Annie. We got JC to do the movie, got the studios to come in, and Willow had such a difficult time with the tour with my hair. She said, you know, Daddy, I don't think so. Smith said doing an event with author Sister Soldier, and said that, baby, hold on. I said, no, listen, you will be in New York with all your friends, and Beyonce will be there, and you will be singing and dancing. And she looked at me and said, Daddy, I have a better idea. How about I just be 12? And I know what, as crazy as that may sound, good for her. I'm being realistic. Good for her. If she feels she's not really up for this, and she felt that this is not something she wants to do, then God bless her. She spoke out about it. Better to be honest about it and not do something that you may regret later. And I think this is also a wake-up call for Will Smith a little bit too. Maybe it's not a good thing to force your kids into these kind of situations. Keep in mind, this is Will Smith's project he wants to do. He wants to do this. Doesn't necessarily mean his kids want to do it. And that's the thing I kind of worried. And a lot of people, more and more now over the years, are saying that he's constantly forcing his kids on us. And sometimes that can be a turnoff to a lot of moviegoers. And a lot of people who may want to buy the music but gets turned on because they constantly see him. And look, I'm not saying that Will Smith is a bad parent. Don't get me wrong. I think from what it was, his success speaks for itself. He's a very good actor. I love his films. I like the fact that that he still managed to keep himself in the spotlight all these years. I got nothing against Will Smith. I really do respect him and admire him for the accomplishments he had, despite the fact he almost lost it years ago. But there is a limit that people will go with, and people don't normally like when you're trying to say, hey, see, if you like me, here's my children, here, watch their films. People don't like that sometimes. People don't like their children being forced upon them. And that's the thing that I think Will Smith needs to be more aware of. Like I said, if they want to do movies and they want to sing music, God bless them. They're talented enough. They're going to get the fan base of their own. But I think in terms of trying to live your dreams for them, that's where I have a little bit of a problem. You guys may disagree, of course. Please do make your comments. I'd like to know what you think about this, but it is something that I think that Will Smith needs to at least think about when promoting his children. Make sure that they want to do it. Don't force it on them. Now let's go to Emma Watson. This is coming from an Associated Press. Emma Watson actually had came out of the spotlight in Defense Kristen Stewart. Little bit surprised, but I can understand why she went out and did it. It says here that Emma Watson defends Kristen Stewart. Everybody make mistakes, and Emma Watson said, and I quote, Emma Watson do not think that Kristen Stewart got a fair trial in the court of public opinion after she cheated on boyfriend Robert Pattinson with a married director, Rupert Sanders. Watson defends Stewart against the media and other critics in the recent interview in Variety Fair Italy. Those who criticize her are the same people who think that being rich and famous is like being covered in some kind of image powder and makes life perfect. Nothing can go wrong in your wonderful world. Watson told the magazine, according to E! News, for these people, Kristen deserves all the bad things that has been thrown at her because she has an amazing life and she ruined it. The article also says that I thought that the media picked on her in a very horrible way. Christian is a human. He's human just like everybody else, and she is so young. Defend Watson, who was the same age as 22-year-old Stewart. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone is not. It's not fair to consider them matter of public interest. The Harry Potter star had to deal with her fair share of praying as well. Watson, who has photographed kissing her now boyfriend Will, which I'm not going to name because it's not important. The musical festival Able told Glamour in October that the consistent flashbulbs are hard on her dating life. Despite the security, she tried to keep her personal life to herself. I would just go crazy if I didn't have a reality. If I didn't even have a life outside of the role I played, she told Glamour. The entertainment industry is pretty nuts, and having that experience outside of it is going to universities has really made a big difference. It's important for me to feel like I have my own life. And that's pretty much it. I'll leave a link below. You guys can read it. But I'm just going to say this. When this whole thing about Kristen Stewart and Pattinson, the situation involved with the director, I didn't care. I really didn't give a damn about it. And the reason why is that she wasn't the first who did this. She's not going to be the last. I will agree that the media was, and the fans, more so with the fans than the media, because the fans went nuts on this. My whole beef about this is that they went on her and not the director. The director was barely talked about in the media. Director was a married man. He knew he was a married man, and he was just as guilty as she was. I felt also that this was between Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. If they worked their differences, fine. If they didn't, that's fine too. I think people, the fanboys of Twilight, was more angry because they had this fairy tale mentality when it came to those two stars, that they forgot that it was just acting. Yeah, they were dating, they were seeing each other, but I think they have they had this missed thing that what happened in Twilight was actually happening in real life, and that's not the case. I will say this: she did dug herself her own grave when it came to that, because she was because as you all know, people was like, how can you do this in front of public, knowing the media is going to take a picture of it, knowing they're going to take snapshots on it. And that was the main thing. She really didn't do a good job trying to keep that undercover, and I think that's what really blew it up a lot worse. But I'm not saying Emma Watson is wrong. I think that she's right. I think, to me, she did get a little bit of fair shake about that. I just didn't care. I mean, she is human. She is going to make mistakes. And I think there's a false sense of security that these Hollywood stars are supposed to be perfect and supposed to hold themselves into higher regards and image. And in some cases they do, but in other cases I don't care. I don't care for these stars' personal life. It's not my business who Tom Cruise is dating. It's not my business who Nicole Kidman is dating. Only reason why they report it is because the news know that there are other people who just can't get enough of seeing who's dating who, what clothes they're wearing. Is it still a fashion trend? It's the same thing what goes on with Kim Kardashian. Why do people watch Kim Kardashian? Why do anybody care about what goes on the red carpet? It's just something that people do care about. But in terms of Kristen Stewart's relationship and who she dates, I can care less. I really don't. And to say that everybody was judging her, half the people don't even care about Twilight. None of the people don't even like her performance. It was the fanboys and girls who cared about that. It was those who were really, really on that, because again, that fantasy world which they held so gripped to was pretty much destroyed after that, because hey, this is reality. Stuff like that does happen, and they didn't want to let that go. I'll leave the link below. It's a very interesting story. It's a very interesting interview. But like I said again, I don't think it's everybody who cares about Kristen Stewart and the Patterson scenario. I just think it was more of the fans who was like has so much of a attachment towards those two, because of that franchise that was in, that they forgot that they do have a life outside that film, and sometimes not everything is going to be rosy and perfect that as the movies predict them. Shows them to be. So, one last one. I leave it to Lindsay Lohan. I was going to save you for last because, frankly, you almost become not even worth mentioning. But since you made the front page of the New York Post, well, I don't know. It deserves some mentioning. It seems like the Lindsay Lohan's money is running out. According to the New York Post, the process to serve Lindsay and Deanna Lohan with court papers yesterday as part of the Chase Bank year-long battle to foreclose on their Long Island mansion. This is due to the fact that probably they wasn't paying for it. The court documents, which a source said named both Lindsay, 26, and her mother, 50, were inside the envelope, marked simply as important information enclosed. The Liberian confirmed to the Post that he was in the process of serving, and that the papers were released to Chase Bank mortgage. 9 days ago, Radar Online revealed that the Mean Girl star was forced to leave Los Angeles to bunk with her mother because she's broke. Lindsay is being forced to live with her mom at home when Deanna, because she can't afford any other options at the moment, sources told Radar. Lindsay is flat broke and can't even afford to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in North Hollywood, the source added. Financial roles run in the family. Hard partying, Dana has ranked up more than $1 million in debt in the past decade, barely avoiding foreclosure in a $1.3 million house in 2005 and 2012, court document shows. In October, Lindsay helped her mom pay the loan, bucking down a reported $40,000. That set off October's brawl between Lindsay and her mother that took place in a driveway at the house. The star demanded then to pay back the huge loan. I was like, give me the money back, give me the $40,000 back, and I just gave you. The actress is recounting the fight with her mother, Michael, and in a phone conversation he recorded. You give mom $40,000, Michael asked, because she needs to keep her house, Lindsay responded. Lindsay herself owes more than $200,000 in back taxes, which Charlie Sheen reportedly helped her pay in November. Thank you, Charlie Sheen, for having Lindsay back, Dana tweeted. And but the December, the IRS froze Lindsay's account. In 2005, Lindsay Lohan took out a loan totaling more than $700,000 and now holds a $422,723 mortgage on the property, record shows. In 2008, she was forced to pay off $301,715 lien for the money borrowed from another lender, a record shows. Lindsay's spokesman didn't return our calls for comment, and that is the whole report in a nutshell. I don't know what to say other than wow. And you know what? Not too many people is going to feel sorry for her for a lot of reasons. One, all her legal issues she put on herself. All the court hearings that she has gone to, fighting her cases, That costs money. She has to pay her lawyers, of course. All the stuff she has to do in terms of fines, the money she's going to rehab, and the fact that she's not getting any movie roles, any major movie roles, is hurting her. This is rock bottom, gentlemen. There's no other way to put it. This is rock bottom, and it's just the beginning. She still has to fight her case in California. She still has to go through all that stuff, and right now it is hitting her where it hurts the most, in her wallet. Really is. And to me, I don't see this going to change anytime soon, unless she seriously wakes up. Wakes up and smell the coffee that, hey, you're not as popular as you were when you first started. You're now beginning to feel it, and I'm kind of curious of how many of your friends or entourage is going to have your back, really have your back, when you will have nothing left. Nothing. No money, no mansion, no movie career, nothing. So this is the thing that she needs to think about in the upcoming future. Because to me, hearing that you're broke, honestly, nobody's going to be surprised. Nobody's going to have any sympathy for you because of all the stuff you have done over the years. These are all the stuff coming back to haunt you 2 times fold. Now, there is one thing I'm kind of curious about. And this is something that I think people need to keep in mind, because I read something here that actually forced me to stop briefly. The delivery man confirmed the post that he was on the process of serving the papers. First of all, how did he know what was in the papers? Did he open that letter? Because if he did, that is illegal. I just thought I'd keep that in mind. That's illegal, and you definitely gave information to the Post. That's a smart move, bro. You may have lost your job. I'm just saying. I find it very interesting how they got this information from a delivery man. But besides the point, there are other reports out there that confirms this. There's other reports out there that shows that this is actually going on. But make no mistake about it, this is bad times for Lindsay Lohan. And she's not doing herself any favor by continuing getting herself in trouble. Now, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll leave the links to all the reports. You guys can comment if you want. Yeah. It's a short section today. I only got 4 stories, so I was keeping it at a minimum. But as usual, links below. You agree with the stories that I mentioned. Some of the stuff I mentioned, disagree with it. Let me know in the comment section below. But until then, this is J77 saying take care, be safe, talk to you soon.